Okay, folks, Ryder here with another hive inspection, and today we're going to do a second hive inspection. I just did one yesterday on this hive, did not spot a queen, so I actually put in another frame that had a queen cell on it. Since I had seen there had been 2 queen cells that had hatched, but I didn't see a queen, I figured I'd add another one. Plus, it was from my main hive back there that I clearly saw a queen in yesterday. So there's no point in leaving a queen cell in a hive that has a queen. So we're going to take a look at this hive today first, and then we're going to take a look at the first swarmed hive. Sorry I'm not following chat, but thank you for anybody that comes on, and thanks for your comments. You can ask questions and make comments, and I will respond to them later after I've posted this, after I've shared it to YouTube. Right now it's just a live video. So I'm going to hand the camera to Marshall. This hive is going to move to Marshall's house as soon as we are confident that there is a queen and she is laying eggs. So we're not going to see eggs today in this hive, so it's not moving today. It will most likely move within the next 2 weeks. So there's Marshall. So I'm going to start off by getting our smoker going, and again I'm using the older left out in the weather burlap sack to start my fire. I use it like kindling. It starts up burning pretty quick because it's been exposed to the weather. It's kind of dried out. There we go. And then I add some regular burlap that hasn't been dried out so much. Give it a couple pumps. Put the other one in there. And there we go. So that's going nicely. I am going to secure my suit. And I'm so cheap that this is my Halloween costume every year. Just kidding. Haven't used it yet. And get my gloves on. Got my tool. And I'm going to do the best I can to follow my mentor's instructions of only giving it a little bit of smoke. 3 puffs there. Get my other glove on. And then I'm also not going to stand right in front of it. I'm going to work it from the side or the back. So now I'm going to lift the lid, give it a little smoke in there. Now I have heard it's best to leave the hive alone for about 5 minutes after you smoke it, but you get different answers from different folks. And give this one more little puff of smoke and make sure it's going for when we go over to the next hive. Okay, so yesterday I put in a frame in here with a queen cell. Right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to inspect to see if there's a queen in here. I'm also going to check to see if that one hatched. It's going to be a really quick inspection, not a rushed one, but just a short and quick inspection. So I'll start by moving the second frame out from the back side. I'm not using the holder, the extra set of hands today, because I really don't need them. I'm not going to be in here that long, and I'm not doing a split or anything. So I can go ahead and take this frame out, and this is the one I just put in there, and you can clearly see that there is a queen cell unhatched right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and set that back down in there, and I'm going to continue to look to see if one of the 2 original queens that hatched from here came back. There's one of the other cells that hatched.
Yep.
There's another one. There's 2 on there. The one down at the bottom and the one up here.
Yeah.
So always counting on Marshall to keep his eyes open for a queen as well. They do a wonderful job of hiding. In fact, see those little holes in the... That's where they like to hide. A lot of times they'll circle through and hide in there. So I'm seeing a lot of good buildup too on these frames of new wax. Let's go to the next one. Seeing several drones easy to distinguish a drone from the other bees because they are much larger. You'll see them right there in the center.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
two.
I can see one.
On this
couple
side,
of them, yeah.
there's two.
Yep.
But they do not look like queens. Queens will have a nice, bright abdomen, and it's more cylindrical shaped, as opposed to the drones who are kind of just fat all over. So again, I'm seeing no queen. So of the 2 queen cells that hatched in this one, I do not see a queen in here yet, which is why I went ahead and put that other queen cell in here. Besides that, it came from a hive that had a queen, and she most likely would have killed her sister. Last frame to look at. Now this is the one that's loaded with honey. I see a drone, another drone, lots of drones. This is a drone hive. So, I'm glad I put that other one in there. This is it. Now, I'm a little disappointed. I've actually put in a feeder here, and it's full of sugar. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up and see if I notice any change in the weight of it. I don't. It's still got a full half gallon, so no one's feeding off this. And I've actually made some ladders for them to climb in on this. It could be because there's honey. It could be because there's no queen, that they're not using that sugar to help build out the honeycomb. I'm hoping that when this cell that we just looked at hatches, that they will start using this feeder. It has been used before, and the homemade ladder worked, but at this point in time, I don't see any activity as far as them drinking out of it and using it. I'm actually going to leave a little more space there. Slide this over. I want to space these out just a little bit because I can't get a full 8 frames in here with the feeder. The feeder takes up a little more than 1.5. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I do have 8, but I can't get 9 in. I've tried, I've pressed them as tight as I can, and I can't get 9, so I'm just spacing them a little bit apart. Should make it a little easier to work with. In fact, I watched a YouTube video of a guy that only puts 7 frames in his 8 frame boxes, and he only puts 9 frames in his 10 frame boxes. He actually has a special spacer he sells for setting it up that way. So for now, we're still waiting on this hive. Hopefully that queen hatches and this hive starts developing. So let's grab the smoker, give it a little couple puffs, see if it's going. Still going. And we're not going into this hive. We are going to go to the first swarm. Now lighting on this might not be the greatest. It's actually in the shade. I probably will move it within the next week or 2 to a better location. So this particular... Somehow Marshall triggered one of my Twitch channel friends and started doing that. So Country Rubes makes these wonderful bottom boards, and this little plaque that shows their information actually slides out of the way, and you can take the smoker and stick it right in there, and the smoke goes right in the bottom and works its way up through it. And I'm gonna go ahead and hand the phone back to Marshall.
Okay.
Give a little puff or 2 along the front of this. Lift the lid, put a puff or 2 in there, and then set it down and get my glove back on. So, I'm gonna be looking for a couple things in here. This one did not get a feeder, but it has lots of honey in it. So we're gonna look for the development of new comb, and we're also going to look for the queen. I apologize, I'm actually gonna go and get something because I have a box here on top that I wanna be able to set it on something. And I also wanna grab my extra set of hands. Okay, let's see, this is our flattest ground right here. So I'm just going to use those buckets right there to set this medium on. I can go ahead and leave the lid on this. There's really no reason for me to look in this box right now at all. I'm just going to grab the whole thing and set it on these, and that's fine for me. All right, there's the hive. I'm going to put my extra set of hands right here on the side. And I'm going to do the same thing as before. I'll go to the second frame in and lift it out. And again, the reason I'm doing this is it's usually easier to release that one than the corner. Now in this case, that corner one would probably be just fine because there isn't a lot of propolis or wax buildup yet. But I'm just doing it over and over again so I develop the habit, so I don't break frames, so I don't break the corners of the hive. So just move these frames over that we know are empty or barely developed, and then we're going to get to a frame that actually has some development going on. All right, so here you can see they're starting to build up some comb. That's about all that's going on with this one. A little bit of buildup and a lot of nurse bees hanging out here doing their job, turning nectar and honey into wax. All right, now this next one is actually built out pretty thick, so we're going to start looking for stuff on this one. This is the hive I'm thinking I most likely will see larvae first. This was the first swarm. Most likely she was fertilized before any others. All right. Here you can see how far out that comb has been built up. It's mostly near the top. Again, the lighting's not the best here, but so far I just see nectar and pollen. I don't see any brood. Let's put that one back down in there. See, I think I'm going to leave, yeah. Now, unfortunately, where I put my set of hands, extra set of hands here, I don't have enough room to actually put a frame down on. There we go. All right, let's keep hoping we see a queen and maybe some larvae. That nice big drop of almost clear nectar. So I'm seeing a lot of development again, like in this top corner by my thumb. A lot of development there. Actually see brand new capped honeycomb right there in the middle,
yeah,
on the top. I am not seeing a queen, and I'm not seeing any brood. So we're going to go ahead and set that back down in there. Oh, actually no, this will be the one we set over here now that I've made enough room. Did I make enough room for one frame? There we go. Now I have a little more room to work with. Let's do the next one. Still hoping to see some action here. Okay, this frame doesn't have quite as much buildup going on it. So it's those ones in the center that we were hoping to see something on. We're still hopeful to see something going on over here. If we do, we'll move it towards the center, because we want the brood to be in the center. right, this is full of honey. This is the honey I gave these bees. So I'm actually sweating and getting some sweat into my eyes. I may have to pause to take my suit off and just dry my eyes. It's a little stingy because it's salty. I'm not spotting a queen. It's not to say she couldn't be hiding here somewhere. But for right now, I don't see her, and I am going to have to pause here. So maybe Marshall can do some close-ups of the hive where it is right now while I do that, but I have to dry my eyes. It's in the 70s here today. Might get up to the 80s. Oh.
It is warm.
That saline burns the eyes. Or sweat burns the eyes. Okay. Let's go back in here again. Slide this one over a little bit more. I believe this frame is also full of nothing but honey. So this is not looking too happy right now for me. Okay, nothing but honey and pollen. You can see directly in there, there's good sunlight on it. I do not see a queen. I see bees with pollen. I see a lot of honey. I even see some red pollen on that one right in the middle. You see the one with the red pollen on its legs?
I don't, but I believe
It's right.
Oh, I see it. Yeah,
just below the middle right now.
Yeah, I just saw it. What's that mean?
I have no idea which flower that came from, but it's obviously from a flower that has very red pollen. Most you see is yellow or orange. And there's another one right in the middle. Very orange looking bee that has red pollen on it as well. So I no idea. Could be a rose, could be some other flower. So I have not spotted a queen in here at all. So we may be looking to add another queen cell to this one. We may extend our inspection to the next hive to steal another queen cell. It's a number of things can happen. The queen has to go out on a mating flight and something can happen to her there. Anything from a bird eating her to, a dozen of other things that could happen where she doesn't return. We know there was a queen here because she swarmed to here, but we're not seeing her. So I'm going to put this hive back together and we're going to go take a look at that first hive. And if there's any queen cells in there, we're going to bring one over here because right now I think we're queenless. Because the way they're building this out, if you could get a shot straight down on this, you see how far that honeycomb is built out? It's like 3/4 of an inch out. It's actually going into the space from the next frame over that doesn't have any. So I'm actually going to space these a little further apart. And I'm going to leave one out. So I'm going to slide this one over. And this one over. I'm going to take another frame out. I really only did that just because I didn't want to crush any of those. Slide this one over. Put this in, and then if I'm going to put a new queen cell in here, or a frame with a queen cell in here, I'm going to put it right in the center of these two. I'll take one more look at this one. Yeah, I'm seeing no eggs, no larvae, no brood whatsoever, and I have not spotted a queen. So, there is one other option though I didn't even think of till just now. Remember, originally I was not going to inspect the top.
Ah.
No, there was a queen separator, so
Yeah,
she wouldn't
there
have been
is.
in the top.
Yeah, there is a queen separator on it.
Queen separator on this, so she wouldn't have been in the top at all. Let's go ahead and back this up again. So take this one out. Leave that out. Slide this one back over, and now I have a space to put in a frame from the other. So let's go to that hive.
Okay.
Give this a little puff, calm them down a little bit.
I was trying to reconnect again. I guess this is a...
Okay, so if you, yeah, you're doing a good job of shadowing it.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it out of the sun this time.
Okay. Get this hive open. This top is mostly full of honey. So I'm just gonna crack the propolis and separate the top, which weighs over 50 pounds. I can tell you that right now. We're going to start by removing, let's put our hands up here. Start by removing the second frame over, just for developing good habits. And another empty frame. Now, in the next frame over is where I saw the queen last time and I stopped. So for right now, it looks good. You can see they're doing a good job of developing the honeycomb on there. This should be where we find the queen in the next one or two. Right. You can see a couple of hatched queen cells right there. And then there's actually a
one
full
right there.
Queen cell right there that has not hatched. This would be a perfect frame to add to that other hive as long as the queen's not on it. So I'm going to examine this over and over again. I see another queen cell in a unusual position there on the side. All right, that other hive has plenty of bees in it. So because I really only want that queen cell, I'm not going to transfer that queen cell. I'm going to transfer this whole deal. So I'm just going to give this one good shake. Two good shakes.
There we go.
And now this is going over to that hive to give them an opportunity of having a queen. There we go. Now I'm leaving it at 9 right now, and I'm just going to go ahead and put this back on top. I'm going to leave the queen separator on it. So I want to put down one edge first and then slowly lower it so I'm not crushing any of the girls so they have time to move out of the way. Least amount of damage possible. And we're done. So that's it for that hive. I'll just leave these two frames right here on top so the bees go back inside where they belong. And we'll go back over to the other hive. I need one of those frames. I need one of these frames to replace what I took out. So we We are going to slide these frames back over nice and slow so we don't crush any of our little girls. I'm going to put this honey wall. This is literally a frame full of honey. I'm going to put this along the side of this. Put a couple more frames back in here. And we'll be done with our inspection for today. Certainly didn't go the way we wanted it to. We were hoping to see larvae. We were hoping to see queens. We saw...
No queens.
Well,